Once again, I welcome everyone to the webinar. We are glad to have you today with us. So, as Zaira Madina said, I welcome you all on the webinar on calculus applications in science and engineering. In many science and technology programs, calculus is among the first course taught. It is considered one of the most important early courses in engineering, allowing students to subsequently study and model real problems in ways that can be applied to their professional lives. And in order to learn more about calculus and its applications, attend the webinar till the end and solve all your queries regarding them. As we have been doing, like always, we will have a small quiz at the end of the webinar, and later we will email participation certificates to all the participants. But before that, let me just give a brief introduction about our company. This webinar is organized by Elma Matters. Elma Matter is a premier solution provider on human capital optimization. Elma Matter was established in the year 2004, and our forte lies in various things like we are into KPO, we are into training, we are into staffing and recruitment solutions. If you want to know more about our company, visit Alma Mater website. As the details have already been mentioned in the comment box, you can go to the website from there. Once you go to our website, you will understand that our incredible success has inspired us to create a strong support program. And for that, we have launched is Sparks, a support program aimed at raising knowledge and skill. The motive of Sparks is to give individuals exposure to the various skills that will help them identify their own specialization and make their future filled with health, wealth, and happiness. And to know more about our upcoming webinars, our online courses, you can visit the AmSpark website that is also mentioned in the comment section. We will so since we have already shared in the comment section, this is just a background of what we have. Now, apart from this, what we are carrying out right now is that every week we are trying to get some new topic and train students through the webinar. And coming to today's webinars, as you know, that is on calculus and applications. And calculus and applications in science and engineering that will be presented by M. Fanidar Kumar, who will be the instructor for the day. Sir has completed MTech in Electrical and Electronics branch. He has 1 year experience in teaching class 8, 9 CBSE students and more than 3 years experience in teaching to BTech and diploma, that is equivalent to class 12 and 11 students. He also has the experience in making lesson plans depending upon students' education level. The best part about learning from Sir is that he will make the students learn the subject by practicing thoroughly. Last but not the least, Sir is good at motivating students who are slow at grasping the concepts. It is such an honor for us to have you today with us, Sir. Before I hand over to Sir, I request you all to have a pen and paper ready with you. Kindly take out a pen and paper as the webinar is on calculus. And in the meantime, Sir, now over to you.
Hello. Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. Okay. So, how many students are there? Can I know?
Yeah, so there are around 25 plus.
Okay, 25 students. Okay. So, hello everyone. Hello, excuse me. Hello everyone. I just need your response from you.
Yeah,
Just unmute yourself and say hello, all of you. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello. Yeah. So please unmute yourself and please say hello to me so that I can move on.
Hello.
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 Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Good evening.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let me share my screen. Just a minute. Yeah, okay. So today's topic is about calculus and its applications in science and engineering. Okay, now, yeah, so this is the introduction. So what is calculus is, to put simply, it is a branch of mathematics that deals with the finding and properties of derivatives and integrals of functions by methods originally based on summation and of infinitesimal differences. Now, don't worry about the wording there. It's I actually copied that from Wikipedia, so don't worry about the wording there. Now, there are two types of calculus, two main types, that is differential calculus and integral calculus. Now, actually, calculus has a lot of applications. I have just picked a very few of them which can be understood by you. I mean, to your level, which can be understood by students of your level, and I am discussing that today. Okay, yeah. So, shall we begin?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So before we actually go to the topic, there are some few formulae. So I guess madam has told to keep a pen and paper with you. You would be working out along with me. So please have them ready if anyone still doesn't have them. Yeah. So did everybody get their pen and paper? Please unmute and let me know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all the students.
All students.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Please
Yes, sir.
unmute yourself. Yeah. Okay,
sir.
good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now, before we actually see some of the applications, now what we'll do is there are some basic formulae that are needed for this particular session. In fact, for any calculus session. So these are the basic formulae which we'll be using in the session. Okay. So I have written differential calculus and integral calculus side by side so that you'll compare them. Okay. So for example, if you take the second formula, it is differentiation of sin x gives me cos x, whereas integral of cos x gives me sin x. Okay, so it's just for the sake of your convenience and easy to remember kind of thing. I have written it like a comparison. So you can take a snapshot of this, or if you can remember, that's well and good, or otherwise you can take snapshot of this because we'll be using this while we are doing the problem. Okay. Yeah, whichever is convenient to you, you can do that. You can take a snapshot, or if you want, you can remember. Okay. Hello. Yeah. So once you are once whoever are taking the snapshot, just send me a message in the chat whenever you are done, so that I'll understand and move on. Okay. Yeah, only two of them. Okay. Yeah, good, good, good. It's good to see. Okay, great. So now, yeah. So the remaining, I mean, the first 5 formulae, you can remember them as it is. I just want to talk about the last one where I have written it as d by dx of uv, I mean differentiation of uv and integration of uv. Now that uv, I have written uv just to, I mean, it's just like an indication that there are two functions. Okay. So for example, let me use the pen. Yeah. So for example, if there is a question like say x square e to the power x. Okay, so you have something like x square e to the power x. So one function can be treated as u and one function can be treated as v. So this can be treated as u and this can be treated as v. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, similar. Suppose if I say some e power x into log x, e power x into log x. Now here you can choose either e power x as u or log x as u. The other one will be v. Okay. Now that is about. And by the way, this is known as product rule. Okay, because it involves a multiplication of two functions, that is known as product rule. Okay, the same thing. I mean, this is a product rule for differentiation and this is the product rule for integration. This is also product rule. This is under integration. All right, so now let's move forward. Now there is one note point here. Of course, this is known as quotient rule. D by dx of u by v is known as quotient rule. By the way, this quotient rule is not used anywhere in the discussion which we are going to do. So obviously, you do need to take the screenshot of this. All right. Now, so there is some important note point here. In integration, there will be no quotient rule. Okay, there are various methods to do the integration, but the point is quotient rule. There is no quotient rule in integration. Okay, and another point. So while applying the product rule in differentiation, they can be chosen randomly. However, in case of integration, a code should be followed, which is named as ILATE, which is I means inverse, L means logarithmic, A means algebraic, E means trigonometric, and E means exponential. Okay, yeah. So I just want to know how many of you understood what I do. If anyone understood, please message and let's see how much you have understood. You can message no also, not an issue. I'll be explaining for you. Yeah, tell me whether you have understood or not. Whatever I have to read about the note. Okay, no. And how many? Let's see how many no's and how many yes. Only one. So all of them understood. One yes, and okay, yes, no, no. Okay, so most of them no, some of them yes. All right. Now, see what does that mean is, suppose if I say that we need to let's say differentiate this thing called x cos x. Suppose if you want to differentiate x cos x, you can choose u to be this and v to be this, or you can choose u to be cos x and v to be x. Okay, so that's what I meant by this first sentence. While applying the product rule in differentiation, the two functions can be chosen randomly. Is that clear? Yeah, so I need responses now, whether it's clear or not.
Yes, po. Clear po.
Clear po.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Now let's move to the second sentence. Now let's take the same example and see what the second sentence says. So if let's take same x cos x. All right. Now here in case of integration, I mean if you are asked to find integration, so you need to choose u and v as per this rule. Okay. So here in this particular whatever question I have given, can someone tell me what are the two types of functions there? I mean, to what category these two belong? Someone unmute yourself and tell me? Or you can even type in chat. That's completely fine. Did you understand my question first of all? As no one is responding, I'm just having it out. Did you understand my question first of all?
Sir, can you please explain the question once again so that we can
Okay. Okay, fine. See,
understand?
what I'm asking is, we have this thing x cos x multiplied by cos x, right? Now here you have two functions. That is obvious, isn't it? It is obvious that we have two functions. Now this function and this function, can you tell me to which category these two functions belong? Is it single or is it two? What are the two? If they belong to two categories, tell me what are the two categories? Okay, James says it's inverse algebraic and logarithmic and trigonometric. Okay, and any other answers? 80, what do you mean by? What do you mean by
function.
80 inverse, Jason? Xavier?
Algebraic and trigonometric.
Exactly, very good. So algebraic and trigonometric, that's right. So now in this particular question given, we have an algebraic function and we have a trigonometric function. So in this case, tell me what should I choose u and what should I choose v? Just guess. Don't worry even if it's wrong.
X can be algebraic and cos x can be trigonometric.
Yes, they are. But what I'm saying is, which one we have to choose u as u and which one you have to choose as v? Yeah,
U is
someone.
X and cos is V. Cos X is V.
Okay, can you repeat? Yeah, that's right. Someone, yeah. Xavier has typed correctly. That's right. So u is cos x and sorry, what is u? Xavier, can you repeat? Iverson Xavier. Okay. So well tried. Even if it's wrong, don't worry. At least you have tried. See, in the order, first we are getting algebraic. In the given question, first we are getting algebraic, right? And then trigonometric in the order, right? So this would be u and this would be v. Okay, did everyone understand? If you have any confusion, you can message. I'll try to clear it again.
Sir, can you repeat why X is U and cos X is V?
Okay, see, the thing is, now we have this, we need to follow this rule. We need to follow this rule so that the number of steps in integration will be reduced. That's the only reason why we are following this rule. Other than that, it's not that you need to take others and all. It will it will simplify the calculation a lot. Okay, and that's why it is taught as a rule code to remember while you are doing an integration. Is that clear?
We just need to follow ILATE and whenever we see a problem, we just need to see that which comes first and which comes next,
which comes
according
second.
to ILATE.
Yeah, that's
okay.
what. So according to that, we need to choose u and v and proceed with the integration formula, whatever I have written in the previous slide.
Okay.
Okay. So for before I move on, let's take one small example to decide u and v. Now suppose if you have something like, let's say, cos x multiplied by e power x. Now, can you please give the answer as to which is u and which is v here? You can message. You can send a message in the chat. Yeah,
Here cos x
Edison.
again is b. Yeah, again cos
Edison.
x is cos
Edison,
x is v.
Okay, cos x is v and
Ex is u.
okay. And any other answers? Any other answers? Yeah, others, can you please message whatever you think? Don't worry whether it's wrong or right. Okay, so here cos x would be u and e to the power x would be v. Exactly, that's right. That's right, Lauren. So cos x is u and e to the power x is v, because in the given order, trigonometry comes first and then exponential comes. So that's why u is cos x and exponential, e power x is v. That is v. Okay, is that clear? Yeah, if you still have any doubts, you can message. You can send in chat so that I can see the question. If you still have any, or you can ask me. Yeah, is everyone clear? So that I can move forward.
Lauren, did you have any question?
Yeah, Mohammed. I think Mohammed.
Masha.
Yes, unmute. Mohammed, can you please unmute yourself and ask the question?
Okay. I think it's. Yeah, Mashood, do you have any question? You've raised your hand.
None, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Mohammed. Yes, Mashood. Tell me. What's your question? Please unmute.
Let's move on, and I think at the end we can have the question answer session also.
Okay, fine. Okay. So let's move on. Let me move on. Now, so next, let's move on to the next slide, where we'll be actually, what should I say? We'll be starting the topic actually. Now, these are all the basics for solving whatever problems we are going to see. So I'm clearing all the ink, right? Okay. Now, the first application will be in physics. We'll discuss the calculus application in physics, a simple application, which is about linear velocity. Yeah, so anyone, whoever knows the formula, I think I have written the formula there. So that is displacement by time. Can someone tell me what is displacement? It's just a open question. Someone unmute yourself and tell me what is displacement.
The distance that an object traveled from point A to point B.
Okay, not exactly. You're close. Yeah, may I know the name of the person who has answered the question?
Iverson Javier.
Yes, Iverson. Okay, well tried. Someone else, a more clear answer, a more precise answer. Someone wants
The
to try.
change of position of an object.
Okay. Okay.
Vector
So
quantity.
Distance
Yeah.
travel.
Okay,
Distance.
distance travel. Okay, this is like a common misconception. Don't worry. Now, displacement is, displacement is the shortest distance from the shortest distance is known as displacement. Okay, for example, you have 2 points here. You can go like this, or you can go like this, or you can go like this. This is, let's say this as path A, this is path B, and this is path C. Now path C is known as displacement. I hope I'm clear.
Yes,
The
sir.
shortest distance
Yes.
is known as displacement.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, fine, good. Now, suppose if the distance from, let's say, point A, sorry, suppose this is x1 and this is x2. Okay, so some car or some particular bike or something reaches x1 at t1, and reaches to x2 at t2. All right. Now, can someone tell me what is the velocity in this case? Just try, give it a try. Someone unmute yourself and give it a try.
X1 by T1.
Okay,
will be
well tried.
velocity.
And anyone else? Yeah, if you're feeling shy to speak out, just you can type it in the chat.
T2 minus T1.
T2 minus T1. Yes, someone close.
X who no. Wait.
Yes. Anyone else? Okay, well tried, everyone. Now let me tell you. In this case, velocity will be x2 minus x1 divided by t2 minus. Is that clear? Yeah, if you have
Yeah.
any query with that, you can type. I mean, you can send it in chat. Right?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so we have velocity as x2 minus x1. Now let me clear this up. Okay. Okay. So now let's see where the calculus actually comes from. Yes, Mashood, you have raised your hand again, but you're not asking the question. Unmute yourself and ask the question, please. Yes, Mashood, can you please unmute yourself and ask the question?
We will continue.
Okay, fine. So now we have seen the formula for velocity when the object is has moved from x1 to x2 in from t1 to t2, right? Now let's see where this calculus part comes from. Suppose that t2 minus t1 is very small. Okay, suppose that t2 minus t1 is very small. If that t2 minus t1 is very small, then obviously x2 minus x1 will also be small, is very small. Okay, so in that case, we'll get that calculus part where we'll say this as del t or t, and this as del x or dx. Okay, so then velocity would become dx by dt. You see, you have got the differentiation already there. Is that clear? If that time interval is made smaller and smaller, then that is treated as dt and displacement is treated as dx, and velocity would become dx by dt where you got the differentiation. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you have any
Yeah.
doubts, you can ask at this point. Okay, now we got d is equal to dx by dt. Now let's do one small problem which I'm giving you on the fly. So suppose, let's say a particle is moving, I mean it's following a path like say some cos t. Okay, a particle is moving, or otherwise, let me clear this, make it confused. Yeah, so let's say a particle is following this path. I mean, it's moving like cos t, following cos t, right? Now, if you want to find velocity at let's say t is equal to let's say pi by 3. Okay, so let's say we have to find velocity at t is equal to pi by 3. Yeah, so this is again an open question. Can someone give it a try and tell me the answer? What is velocity? Even though it's wrong, don't worry, just try. Yeah, whoever has done can unmute yourself and tell the answer. Yeah, if you are unable to do, please, you can send that also in the chat. Don't worry, I'll tell you. Hello.
Will it be 3t by x? No, sorry, x cos t by 3x.
Okay, so your answer is cos t by 3x. Yeah, anyone else? Anyone else? Can someone give any other answer? Okay, so let me tell you, velocity, we have just now seen that it is dx by dt, right? So velocity is dx by dt. Now, in place of x, let's put cos t, because we know that the object is following cos t. So then it would be d by dt of cos t. Okay. Now, can someone tell me what is the differentiation of cos t? I mean, you have taken the screenshot or you remember
Minus
whatever it
sin t.
is. Minus sin t. Yeah. Anyone else? That's right. Minus sin t. Yeah. So now d by dt of cos t is minus sin t. Now what we need the velocity at t is equal to pi by 3, right? Now let's put pi by 3 here. So v is equal to minus sine of pi by 3. Okay. Yeah. Anyone knows the answer for sine pi by 3? Yes. Can you please say yes or no, whatever it is? I'll give the answer. Hello.
Can you give the answer, sir, please?
Hello.
Sir, can you give the answer?
Yeah. Okay. So sine pi by 3, that is actually it's root 3 by 2. Okay, so velocity will be minus root 3 by 2. And of course, if you want the units, it will be meters per second. Okay, so velocity is minus root 3 by 2 meters per second. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so,
Here.
okay, fine. So I hope it's clear for everyone. If you have any query with the answer and all, you can just type it there in the chat. Okay, so now let's slightly extend this. I mean, I'll just extend it a bit and then we'll move to the next application. Just let me clear this up. Now, yeah, can someone answer what is acceleration?
So rate of change of velocity.
Velocity, very good. So that is acceleration is rate of change of velocity. Now, can you give the formula for acceleration? Don't worry, even if you go wrong.
Speed divided by time.
Okay, good. Speed, not exactly speed, it's velocity divided by time, but good. Whoever answered, that's right. So velocity divided by time. I mean, in terms of differentiation, I mean, in terms of differentiation, if you want to write, it will be dv by dt. Okay. Now again, you see, you are getting differentiation here. Is it clear so far? So acceleration is dv by dt. Now again, if you extend it a step further, now what is v? I think I have written the formula. If someone remembers, just tell me what is v in terms of differentiation.
dx over dt.
Dx by dt, very good. So dx by dt. So now if you want to get acceleration when displacement is given, not when velocity is given, when displacement is given, acceleration would be d by dt of dx by dt. So effectively, you have to differentiate displacement twice to get acceleration. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you want to get acceleration, you need to differentiate displacement twice. Okay, so that's it about applications in physics. I mean, I have just taken a very small application. This is about velocity and acceleration. There are a lot of applications actually in circular motion and whatnot. Now let's move to another application. Yeah, let me clear this first. Okay. Yeah. So now this is an application in electrical engineering. Now, don't panic. I'm not teaching electrical engineering. I'm just teaching a math concept where there will be an application, I mean, which is used in electrical engineering. Now, first of all, there is something called root mean square value. Now, the square root of mean of squares of all values is known as root mean square value. And this will be the formula for that. I mean, mathematical formula. Okay. Now, let's do, before seeing how calculus comes into picture here, let's see some small problem. Right. Now, suppose, let's say you have, let's take 3 values, not more than that. Let's say you have 1, 5, 7. And yeah, so let's take these 3 values. And can someone try and tell me what is the RMS value you get? No need to simplify the root. Don't need to simplify the square root. Just tell the fraction as it is, whatever you get. Can someone try and tell me? Yes, you can tell me. If you don't know, you can say that as I don't know. I can teach you that. Don't worry. But please don't panic. I'm not here to beat you here.
Yeah. Please explain, sir.
Sir, can you please explain it?
Okay, fine. So here, this xi means we have these are the set of values we have 1, 5, 7. Now, if you want to find RMS value, what you have to do is take the square root, and there are 3 values, right? So then this capital N equals to 3 because we have 3 values. Then RMS would be 1 by 3 summation I equal to 1 to 3 xi square. Okay. Now let's put I. Let's put I. Then it will be under root 1 by 3 x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square. Okay. Now this would be x1, this would be x2, this would be x3. Now put them there. It would be square root of 1 by 3 and 1 square, which is 1, 5 square, which is 25, and 7 square, which is 49. And 49 plus 26. Can someone quickly tell the calculation?
5.
Yeah, someone has a doubt? Please ask. Please repeat your question.
Sir, will the RMS be
7.
5?
No, it's not 5. Tell me what is the answer you got after you adding after you add all the 3. 49 plus 26.
75.
75.
Okay, yeah. So 75 by 3, and that would be square root of 25. So the value would be 5. Exactly. Very good. So someone has told the answer 5. That's right. 5 is correct. Okay. Now, is that clear, all of you? How to calculate RMS?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear.
Okay, fine. So let me clear this up. Now let's see how this calculus comes into picture here. Now, as these x values grow in number more and more, and their difference will be small. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, suppose if you have xi values as, let's say, 1, 1.001, 1.002, 1.003, and so on up to, let's say, some 50 values. Okay, so you have these many values, and let's say you have some 50 values like this, then summation will be replaced with integration, and then this formula changes to RMS will be equal to square root of, sorry, let me rewrite it properly. Yeah, so this formula changes to square root of 1 by t integral x of t square. Okay, now don't get scared with this particular formula. We'll see one example so that it's clear to you. Now this t, of course, so this is 1 by t, and this is called 0 to t x square t dt. Now don't get scared with the formula. I'll be taking up one example and letting you know. Right? But see, you have got integration here. So when the number of values grow, when the number of values increase and the difference between them becomes smaller, all we can do is we can replace the summation with integration, and here we'll get time period. Now let's see what is time period as well before we actually see the actual application. Now suppose you have got something like this. You have got some waveform like this. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I draw one more cycle, so -1, -2, and so on. So this is something extending from minus infinity to infinity. I mean, it's a very long waveform. Now, yeah, someone tell me after how much time it is repeating this particular waveform?
After 1 second.
Okay, 1 second. And any other answers?
So you have taken time interval in the x-axis, I think.
Yes. I've written t now.
Okay, sir.
Yes, 1 second is one of the student answered that it is 1 second. Anyone else has any other answer? Feel free to share even if it's wrong. Okay, someone is saying 0.001 and okay, let me clear it up. Now here the T, that is time period, is actually 2. I'll tell you why. If you observe carefully,
So one complete wave is in 2 seconds.
that's what is time period. That is what is T.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this shape is repeating itself. Now the time of that shape is 2 seconds, and that's why T is equal to 2. Am I clear? Or if anyone has doubt, you can ask that in the chat.
Clear, sir.
Okay, fine. All right. So now that we have understood what is T and what is RMS, formula for RMS, now let's move on. Actually, where this RMS is used. Let me erase the ink. Now, to be very brief, I have written it very briefly. There are two types of quantities existing in electrical circuits, namely AC and DC. Now, what is AC and what is DC? I'll just give you a simple example. I won't make it complicated by defining them. Now, AC is whatever we use for household switches, household supply. Okay, household supply uses AC, and that normal battery, cell, that small cell which you'll be using in your wall clocks and all. Now, cell uses DC. Okay, so household supply uses AC, cell uses DC. Just remember that. I mean, I don't want to make it more complicated by defining what is AC and DC. Okay, now the point is power consumed by any circuit element with AC source. Power consumed by any circuit element with AC source is given by this. Now here you're getting RMS value. We're getting RMS value here. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So here, in order to find RMS value, we need to use the formula for RMS, which involves integration, which is again calculus. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, let's do one small problem here. So suppose if you have I equal to, let's say, current value, it's following, let's say, some T square. It is following this particular equation, I is equal to T square, right? Now, and its time period is 2. I'm giving time period straight away in order to avoid much complication. So let's say time is 2 seconds. I is T square, time is 2 seconds. Now, IRMS would be square root of, yes. So putting the values, can someone tell me what is the equation? I'll solve it, but tell me what is the equation. Can someone unmute yourself and tell me? Yeah, if you are unable to, please tell me, I'll proceed doing that, because I understand that it's a bit complicated. So yeah.
Please proceed, sir.
Okay, fine. So now IRMS equal to, see, our formula is for RMS value, our formula is 1 by T integral I square dt, and you have 0 to T, right? So 1 by T integral 0 to T I square dt, right? Now we have I as this. Okay, we have I as this and T as 2 seconds. Now let's substitute it there. So IRMS equal to square root of 1 by 2 integral 0 to 2, and I square means it is T power 4 D, because T square whole square becomes T power 4. Okay, so I'll solve this complete problem, but can someone tell me which integral formula should I use here? Just use whatever you have taken, whatever screenshot you have taken, and someone try to tell me which formula I have to use there. Just search and let me know the correct formula. Try, even if it's wrong, don't worry.
So you're asking about the integration of t to the power 4 dt.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you able to find out? Someone is able to find out?
Sir, is it integral 1 by x times dx is equal to log x?
Okay, well tried. Someone has told. Well tried. And anyone else? Okay, no problem. Let me tell you. The formula, whatever we'll be going to use is integral x to the power n dx. Okay, so integral x to the power n dx is the formula which we are going to use. So then it would be x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1.
Sir, will it be t to the power 5 by 5?
Exactly, it is t to the power 5 by 5. So IRMS equal to under root 1 by 2 integral 0 to 2. Sorry, since we are done with integration, we'll let me clear this up first. Yeah, so IRMS equals to square root of 1 by 2 t to the power of 5 by 5, and we have limits, right? So that is 0 to 2. Always we need to substitute upper limit first and then we have to substitute lower limit. So then it would be square root of 1 by 2 times 2 to the power 5 by 5, because this has brackets, minus 0 power 5 by 5. Of course, 0 power 0 into something is 0, so this term will be eliminated. Then you'll have, I mean, the answer would be 16 by 5, square root of 16 by 5, which is IRMS. Am I clear with the calculation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So anyone has any problem in understanding this calculation?
Clear, sir.
Okay, fine. So let's move forward and see the next application, which is in chemistry. Okay. Now, can someone give an example of, give 2 or 3 examples of what are radioactive materials? Just give the examples.
Sir, certain substances which emit radiations are known as radioactive materials.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
sir, uranium, radium.
Okay. Good. And what is their application?
So we
One
use
application.
them for generating nuclear power.
Okay, good, very good. So we'll be using them for getting nuclear power, and uranium, polonium, all this come under the category of radioactive material. Okay, now, so here, this is one more point where, I mean, this is one more application where we'll be getting this calculus. Now, this is the log. This is how the disintegration of any radioactive material goes. That is proportional to the amount of material present. I mean, if you write it in the form of equation, then it will be du by dt equal to minus ku. So where this k is a constant. Okay. So where this k is a constant. That depends on that we have to find out depending on the whatever problem or whatever application we are doing in radioactive decay. I mean, that depends on the properties of the material to be precise. So it depends on material property. Okay. Now this is a bit more what should I say? This is a bit high level problem. I'll be explaining it to you. Don't worry. Now, in order to solve this is actually called differential equation, which involves integration. Now, I'll just solve it. I'll just solve it with you. Now, what we'll do is, let's do this. So du by u equal to minus kd. What I've done, I've just simply cross multiplied this. I mean, I have taken u this side and dt this side. So then du by u equal to minus k dt. Now, if you integrate this, I mean, integrating on both sides. So then you'll have integral 1 by u du equal to minus k is a constant. You can write it outside, integral dt. All right. Now, for the left hand side, can someone tell me what is the formula we have to use? Seeing the list of formulae, whatever you have. Yes. Just go through the formula, whatever you have, and tell me which formula I have to use.
Sir, integration of 1 by x, this would be ln of x means logarithm.
Yes, exactly. Very good. So we'll be using the integral of 1 by x, which is ln of x. Ln means it's actually log base e of x or ln of x, whatever it is. So in general, we'll be using
logarithm.
Natural logarithm, exactly. So natural logarithm of x. So 1 by u will be log x, that is equal to minus k integral dt. Let's see how to solve this integral. We can, I mean, if there is nothing, we can write it as 1 dt, right? Now, this can be written as t power 0. Okay. So minus k integral t power 0. Now, if you integrate it, we'll have minus k t power 1 by 1, because the formula says integral x power n is n power n plus 1 by n plus 1. So this is t power 1 by 1 plus c. Okay. So log x base e equal to minus k t power 1 by 1 plus c. Or if I write it simply, it would be log x base e equal to minus kt plus c. All right. So using this equation, we will find the amount of material present after some time. We'll see one example where we'll be using this formula actually. But how did we get this? Using this particular law. Now that law again involves differentiation. I mean differential equation, which is again involving calculus. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the equation which we'll be using to find the whatever amount of material is present. We'll see one example here. Let's move on. Now, here the question says if 30% of radioactive material disappeared in 10 days, how long will it take for 90% of it to disappear? Okay. Now let's go back and see that particular slide where, okay, or otherwise I'll write the equation. Now we got this equation, right? So that is log x base e equal to minus kt plus. Okay, this equation we got from the law of disintegration. Am I clear? I mean, by solving this, we got this equation. Now we'll use that and try to find out. Yes. So can someone give me an idea as to how to solve this? Yeah, even if a brief idea would do, I'll solve it, but just tell me what is the flow? How should I proceed? Yeah, just give a guess. No problem, even if it's wrong.
In 1 month. So
Okay,
about 100 day, not
Okay,
33 days.
Okay, fine. So let's see how we actually solve this. Now, 30% of material disappeared in 10 days, right? Now, what we'll do is, let's start with 0 days. So at t is equal
So
to
should
0.
we use unitary method here?
Yeah, exactly. Whoever has told, that's right. So it's almost like unitary method, but it's involving logarithms. So we'll take t is equal to 0. We'll start with t is equal to 0. When t is equal to 0, let's say, I mean, since it's given in percentages, let's say it has 100 grams of radioactive material. Okay. Now at t is equal to 10, yeah. Now, please listen to my question carefully. At t is equal to 10, please let me know what is the amount of material remaining.
%60.
60%, not exactly. 30% disappeared, which means how much is given?
70% remaining.
70%.
Exactly,
Oh.
70%, which means 70 grams. Okay, at t is equal to 0, 100 grams, and at t is equal to 10, 70 grams. Now, 90% of it to disappear, which means how much should remain?
So 10%, I mean 10 grams.
10 grams should remain. Very good. So 10 grams should remain. Now, what do we need to find out?
Time.
How much?
Time, exactly. We need to find t. So t is equal to question mark. So this is the case. Now all that has now come down to what should I say? Unitary method of solving. So put t is equal to 0 and x is equal to 100. Get one equation. T is equal to 10. Put x is equal to 70. Get one more equation. And from those two equations, can someone tell me what are that we'll be obtaining by using that? Did you understand my question first of all?
Can you repeat, sir?
Okay. See, what I'm trying to say is substitute t is equal to 0, x is equal to 100 in this equation. And again, substitute t is equal to 10, t is equal to 10, x is equal to 70 in this equation. You'll be getting two equations, right? Now from two equations, tell me what are the values I get by solving them. What quantities exactly? Not the exact values, what quantities I will be getting.
64.5 days.
Okay, someone has told the answer. May I know who is that?
Iverson.
Iverson, that's right. Very good, Iverson. So t is equal to 64.5 days. Can you briefly tell me how did you solve this problem?
I substitute the value and the rate
Okay.
on which a material disintegrate is exponential. First is 10 days, second will be 20, and then so on and so forth. It's not the same rate.
Yes. Now, yes, Iverson, whatever you told is right. Very good. Now, what we'll do is, when you put these values, you'll be getting the values of K and C. Yes, Iverson, can you tell me what are the values of K and C you got?
What?
What are the values of K and C you got by substituting these?
Wait. Wait. I lost.
Okay. So tell me what are the, okay. So I'll just write the equations, don't worry. So log 100 equal to C. This is when you substitute T is equal to 0 and X is equal to 100. Okay. And when you substitute T is equal to 10 and X is equal to 70, you'll get log 70 is equal to minus K into 10 plus log 100. Because here itself we got C is equal to log 100. I'm using that and putting it there. Am I clear? If you want me to explain again, I'll do that.
Once more, sir.
Okay. See, what I'm doing is, let me erase this. It's getting messy here. Okay. Now, I'll just put T is equal to 0 and X is equal to 100 in equation 1. So it would have log 100 equal to minus K into 0 plus C. Is that equation clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, let me put the other set of values, that is log 70 equal to minus K into 10 plus. Okay. Now, using these two equations, let's call them as 2 and 3. I mean, if you solve them, you will get K and C values. You will get K and C values. Now, using those values, we'll substitute T's X as 10, and then we'll get T. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think Iverson must be getting K and C values. You have that, Iverson?
What's that?
Did you get these constant values K and C?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, fine, no problem. So if you solve this, you will get it. Or yeah. So I'll just do it using a calculator. I'm cheating, but okay. Let's try to do that quickly. So first would be, yeah. Yeah. So here, whatever values, K is equal to 0.035 and C value is equal to 4.605. These are the two values you get. I mean, I've used calculator, so I have got this precise value. Otherwise, it's not necessary actually to be so precise. Now, if you substitute it here, your equation will become log x base t equal to minus 0.035 t plus 4.605. Okay, this is the equation you get after you substitute k and c. Now, you just substitute x is 10 in this equation and you will get t. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I think there is one more application. I'll just briefly discuss the application. I don't solve the problem. It will take more time. Okay. So I'll just briefly discuss that application and end the session. So let me move on. Okay, the next is in thermal engineering. So application is in thermal engineering. Now thermal engineering is related to heat. So the rate of heat flow across an area is proportional to the area and to the rate of change of temperature with respect to distance normal to its area. Now what this statement says is this Q is heat change, I mean heat flow or heat change. Heat flow, this is proportional to, this is area, okay, and a rate of change of temperature. Rate of temperature change. Rate of temperature change. Okay, so that's this is the same thing is put in words. Okay, now so here this alpha depends on the particular structure, whatever through which the heat is flowing. Suppose if you say you have cylindrical kind of material where heat is flowing, then in that case area and the heat is flowing outside. Suppose you have a cylinder and the heat is flowing like this outside. Okay, in that case area would become 2 pi x because that's circumference of the circle. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so area is 2 pi x. Now if I substitute it there, Q is equal to minus K 2 pi x dt by dx. That's what I get. Now let's rewrite this. That is dx by x is equal to minus K by Q 2 pi x. This is what I get. I mean, I'm just sending x and dx to the left side and q to the right side. So dx by x is equal to minus K by Q 2 pi x. All right. Now, sorry, you don't have x here, minus K by Q 2 pi. So now if you integrate it, we'll get an equation similar to the one we got before, like this. Of course, the variable, the names may change. We'll get an equation similar to this. And then we can solve the problem. And this again, we are getting that using integration. Okay. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So I think we have come to the end of this session. Thank you for this opportunity. Ma'am, over to you, ma'am. And any queries, by the way. Still, if you have any queries, this I think this is the end of the session. Still, if you have any queries, you can ask me right now. Let me move to the last slide. Yeah. So any queries you can ask me. This is the end of this particular session.
Thank you, Fanidar sir. It was
Okay.
great. Anybody has any questions?
Yeah, don't think that it's silly question and all. You can ask any question. Yes, someone is coming up with a question.
David, you had any question? No.
Okay, so shall I stop sharing, sir?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, so you can stop sharing so that I will start it.
Yeah, so I have stopped it, ma'am.
Okay, sir, thank you. Once again, sir, thank you so much. The session was really very interesting, and I hope the participants liked it too. Anyone, do you have any questions? If you don't want to ask, you can just simply drop it in the comment box. So I will see and answer all your queries. We hope the session was too good. No one has any queries. Everyone just understood the session very clearly. Am I right?
There are actually two ways, ma'am. If they understand nothing, also they'll not ask any question. It depends on them.
Okay,
Yes. But students, please don't be shy and come ahead. You should solve your query, whatever is on your mind, so that whenever you drop it, whenever you have a question, you can ask it. Okay? Even if you don't have any questions, even if you want to learn something, what you have to do, you have to download our app, just log in, and you can have a class with us. This was just a brief about calculus and application. Sir has his whole course, and you can log in and you can learn from Sir. All right, we will share the details of about downloading our app. We will share the details of our website. You can visit our website, log in from there, whatever is suitable to you. All right, everyone. Okay, so now, since like we always do, we will have a quiz session, but in a different way. We will be sharing the quiz link in the chat box right now, and we expect all of you to send us your quiz answers. Um, the quiz link is shared. Is it visible, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. No, the quiz link. Is the quiz link visible? Yeah, now it is okay. Everyone, once again, the quiz link is shared in the comment box. You can go through the comment box and just fill up the quiz, give your answers, and as soon as we receive your answers, we'll be giving your certificates to the right email that you have provided to us. I may tell you that only those who will submit their quiz and answers, we will be receiving, only those people will be getting their certificates. All right. So to sum up, we at AmpSparks, we have started a series of 3 webinars, and this was our 7th webinar. Our upcoming webinar series is scheduled on 25th of September, that is on Saturday. The webinar on Saturday is on the topic Introduction to Career in Data Science, and the next webinar is scheduled on the coming Wednesday. And the webinar for Wednesday is the topic of types of computer languages with introduction to Python. We hope to see you there, and we hope you can share the details with anyone who you think would find it suitable. We will share the details to log in and to register for our free webinars too.
One quick question.
Yes, sir.
For all, there are some people I'm seeing that they are not only from India, they are from all around. So can anybody tell their country where they are from, who is not, I mean, if they are not from India, any other country? Philippines. Oh, great.
Okay, so many are from Philippines.
Oh, great. Perfect. Yeah, please do email us with the queries, and anytime like you want any help from us, like we are definitely going to help you. And yeah, you can all download the app there. It's an Android app for us.
And yeah, one more announcement, one more thing, sir, from my side. Yeah, in the quiz questions, if you have any doubt, you can just send the query to sir, and I'll be ready to answer those questions as well for this particular quiz.
Sure. And within the app itself, like you can directly chat with Faridar sir, and they can write your query can be solved. So once you download the app, you just need to go to the section where you can discuss with, and you can fix an appointment with him anytime you want to have a right discussion. Like according to the time availability, he will talk to you. So the only thing that you will probably have to take care of is the timing. The difference is timing for all the international students, and for local students, you just need to figure out like where whenever sir is free, you can just talk to him accordingly. It was so wonderful. And if you have any request for any particular topic that you would like to learn on, right, please do let us know, and we'll definitely make sure that we have the right person and the subject matter expertise to provide you the same kind of webinar, which will be absolutely free. And from there, we can take. Please go to our Facebook page, Instagram page, and LinkedIn pages. You can check YouTube channels are there where all the webinars are there, right? You just need to go like, share, and subscribe. That's all. And yeah, definitely the bell icon, right? So that like you get all the notifications on regular basis. Yeah, over to you, Zaira. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So everyone, we have shared all the details about our social accounts and all the details, as I mentioned earlier, of both the websites. We have shared it on the comment box. You can copy it from there and you can register with us. We also have an app, as sir has already mentioned. You can download the app and register with us. The best thing about downloading the app is that it is very convenient. Like any other app on your mobile, you can download the app, and to know about the upcoming webinars, our upcoming courses, you can simply know it from the app. The app also summarizes the details of the upcoming webinars. Also, in order to chat or to solve all your queries with sir or any other tutor, it is very convenient to download and simply talk to the tutor, whoever you have query with. As we have already told, sir has this course. You just have to download and log in and register with sir's course. Now to sum up the webinar, anyone, once again, if you have any queries regarding the app, regarding the website, anything you want to know, you can drop it in the comment box. If not, you can simply send us the quiz answer so that we can send you your certificate as soon as possible. Thank you everyone once again for being a part of our webinar. We hope to see you soon in our future webinars. All the very best for your future endeavors. Thank you.